Hey, what's up, YouTube? This King Geo on the house. How you guys doing today? Please forgive me if you guys are here. Forgive me for my tardiness. I was trying to do the studio, but I guess I did the studio last time. But on tomorrow's live, before I go on live, I will have to think I'm gonna take it an hour or so or more to set it up so I can get it better lighting because I had it all the way up to the ceiling. And apparently that's not a good idea. So I'm just going to have it up to where the screen is at, which is maybe up to here. And I'm using another computer because I was on my Chrome. So I want to see how this one works. This is an HP. So let's see how this works. But anyway, look, thank you for coming to the King Geo show. Before I start, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who have subscribed to my channel. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel on the bottom, your right-hand side. And that will give you, that's a notification bell, and that will let you know when I, King Geo, have uploaded a video. And today I want to talk about success, because a lot of people, there's the thing that we could say about the pandemic that has taught us one thing is to adapt, and with adaptation comes changes, and a lot of people, and when I say a lot of people, and when I say changes, I mean that a lot of people have had to leave their job to start another job. And a lot of people, when this is over with, they're going to say, I'm going to go do another field, or I'm going to go to another field. So there's a lot of job changing, a lot of career changing, I should say, through this pandemic. And whether that's a good thing or not, it all depends on the change that is being made. Is it it's better for the individual. Of course, it's always better for the individual, but you got to see the industry that it affects. So that's going to be another thing that we have to look at too. You just can't stay and say, well, I'm making more money, whatever. But it's going to affect a lot of industries, and people are going to get paid more money. I'm doing something that hopefully they enjoy doing. A lot of people started their own business. A lot of people did online. A lot of companies have learned that you can do remote work from remote. So you don't have to. What you gain from working remotely is that you don't have to pay for office space. You don't have to pay an electrical bill. You don't have to pay a water bill. You don't have to pay a rent, right? All the person has to do is have themselves a laptop and have that person's, as long as that person has internet, you're okay with that. So that saved a company a lot of money. Now, when I talk about success, I want people to think about, success starts with you. You are your success. You know that you are your success. You start your success, and I say that because success starts with your thinking. You want to succeed, you will succeed. You can't let anything get you down. You cannot say, okay, you know what? I can't succeed because this, and that. No, you're putting barriers already. You're doing the what ifs. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna give you an example. Right? Let's say you want to open up a business, and you say, well, I don't have enough capital, or I don't have enough money to do that. Okay, then you start small. You don't have to start big, right? You start small. Me personally, I'll give you an example. I love to cook. I would love to open a restaurant, especially where I live at here. It'll be cool because they don't have a Puerto Rican restaurant. They have a Mexican restaurant, but Mexican food is different from Puerto Rican food, and I can guarantee you from the experience that I've had here in a few months, I can tell you that a Puerto Rican restaurant here will do good. For the simple fact is that the people here in this town or in this county love something different. They love something different than their own food. And when you come to an Asian for Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, you see these Mexican restaurants, they are jam-packed. it's kind of hard to get in. So just imagine a Puerto Rican restaurant here in the town that I'm in. So if I was to open up a restaurant, I wouldn't open up a big restaurant. I would start off with a food cart, right? Or a food truck, and open up a little food truck, and then do the essentials of Puerto Rican food. And then once that gets started, then you get your building, then you get your food, and then you start up, but you start small. That's the way you start small, and you build on that success. And if food truck is what you want to do, then you can open up different food trucks in different spots. That's the good thing about it. You can do different food trucks in different spots. I'm telling to everybody why. So you could open up in different spots. Yes. The thing about Sofrito, bro, is that don't worry about it. How you doing? The thing about Sofrito is that you can't in Puerto Rico, in Puerto Rican food, we usually use Sofrito in a lot of things. And Sofrito, you gotta do it. It has to be homemade. Has to be homemade. Yes, I got a mic. I got the screen, but I set it up. I set it up on Friday, and it looked good. But today, when I went to set it up again, so I had to take an hour or so to set it up before I get on. But anyway, so you have to make homemade Sofrito. The homemade Sofrito, that's the bomb. You can't buy a Sofrito that you buy in Walmart. It's not the same. It has to be homemade. And since they don't have a lot of they don't have a lot of Puerto Rican food here, ingredients, should I say, products, then you have to make your own. Yeah, I know the background. No, I know Supreme. I had the background on Friday. If you look at my video on Friday, I had the background because if you look at my video setting it up, I have it. But what I'm going to do is, being that I had the background, it was all the way up to the ceiling, and that was causing me my two end posts. It was conflicting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the background. I'm going to put it up to where I'm at right now, up to here. I don't have to put it all the way up, and then this way I can get the backdrop right here. You don't see that right there, and it just be this little portion that you see. Get a neon light of your channel name. That will be fire. You think so, Nia? Well, I gotta look it up because I've been using StreamYard, and StreamYard don't have it, at least now. Well, anyways, I was talking about success. So success, you start small. Why a lot of us don't have houses? Why don't we buy houses? Because number one, they didn't teach us that in school. Because the school here in the United States, as I've gotten older, yeah, I know a lot of people do it, but I have to find a way to do the neon on my name here on StreamYard. And a lot of people don't have houses because here in the United States, they don't teach you in public school. They don't teach you about stocks. They don't teach you about how to buy your houses. They don't teach you about taxes. They don't teach you none of that. And now with the critical race theory, it gets even worse, right? Because they don't want you to know the truth. So when a lot of people go into the internet and they want to buy a home, right? So what happens is that they look at the internet, they look at some people, and mostly if you see a commercial on the internet that says, "Oh, if you buy a house for $300,000 and you put 10% down, once a person with low income here is $300,000, like I can't afford that. I'm going to stay here. I can't afford $300,000. But if you come and you say to that person, you know what, with $70,000 or with $80,000, you can start up and you can look for a house. And if you get approved, you can do this, you can do that. You can do that, right? Then you not the person like, oh no, I can afford $70,000. I can do $70,000 because look, I got a house. My house is $70,000, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and it has a finished basement downstairs, which is where I'm at now. You can see this is a bedroom. There's another bedroom on the other side. I have a full kitchen. I have a full bathroom, and I have a laundry room. $70,000. Country. I'm close to everything. The doctors, the mall. So I can't complain. I'm 40 minutes away from a big city, which is Greensboro. So it's not bad. So you could have that, but they don't teach you that. So if you start small and there are programs out there that can help you with your down payment, how the programs there. You gotta look in your state, and every state has a down payment program. So you look at that. You look at your debt to income ratio. You cannot have more debt than you have income. You cannot do that. So that's how you build. Like Supreme said, you can buy land. Land is cheap, but when you buy land, you gotta make sure that land is habitable, that it's able to have light and it's able to have water. Because you just don't want to buy a land and you can't do anything with it. And you start build. You can build slowly but slowly. Like I said, there's this in success. If you want to get a house, there's this program, and it'll teach you, and it's good for you. Every state has it. It's Habitat for Humanity. And Habitat for Humanity, what it does is that it teaches you how to control your money. It teaches you how to pay your mortgage. It teaches you how to be, because when you buy a house, you got to be frugal for the first year or so. You just can't be spending money everywhere. So it teaches you that. And then you go and you do, depending on which state you're in, you do some community service for Habitat for Humanity. You build someone's home. And then when it comes to your turn, you build your own home. And you pay your mortgage and your stuff like that. So that's a good thing about it, right? So, and if you don't want a home, you're gonna do an FHA, and with an FHA, you can get a condo. But anyway, so success is you start small. That's how you start. You start small. If you can start big, start big. But I recommend that you start small and do what you like to do. Find your niche. And success starts with you. You decide, I'm gonna succeed. I'm gonna do this. And no matter what happens, I'm not going to let anything. Sometimes we get to a place that we say, you know what, damn, I didn't succeed. This is not for me. So I'm just going to go back to what I used to do. No, don't do that, because that happened to me. I can tell you, when I came from Puerto Rico, I came to New York. I came back to New York because I was born and raised in New York. And I came to New York with the power and the energy. And I said to myself, I'm going to be an HIV advocate. I'm going to be an advocate for alcohol, for people who have drugs and alcohol problems, because that's what I know. I know about that. I know about restaurants. So that's what I know. And I wanted to help people out. So I came here with fears. I said, nothing's going to detain me. So I got into a course. It's called a peer program course. And I was doing it for 2 months. I had to do 3 months, and then you graduate, and you get your peer certificate, and then you can go out there and you can become a peer counselor. And that's what I wanted to do, a peer counselor. But they only allowed 2 absences. In the third absence, they will take you out of the class. So I was absent 2 days in a row because I got sick, change your weather. And they never accepted me the third time. So I said, okay, fine. So I went back. She told me to go back. Like, let's say this was September. So she said, come back in March. I called in March. Classes were full. She said, give me a call back in August. And then when I called in August, she was in a hospital. She had operated. And when she came back, she said, oh, Gio, the classes are full. So that right there gave me a negativity. I was like, I'm not going to do it. It's not for me. So I quit. And I've been stuck. I'll be honest with you. I've been stuck in that. And I've been stuck in that rut, and that's something that I got to get out of. And sometimes I ask my nephew, and I say, how do I get out of it? And I'm putting too much. Number one, I'm putting too much pressure on myself because I want too many things. Just stick to one thing and one thing at a time. Thank you, man. Stick at one thing at a time. Don't be. I got ideas up my ass. I got ideas here. I got ideas there, everywhere. But I just, to put all those ideas in one spot, it's great, but you're not going to accomplish it because it's too many things in one time. So if you want to get yourself a house, you go out there and you get yourself a house. Don't let anyone tell you any different. If you want to go out there and you say, you know what, I'm working at McDonald's, and at McDonald's, I'm going to become an owner of McDonald's, then you go and you become an owner of McDonald's. I read on TikTok the other day how the black family owns all the McDonald's in Compton. And one stupid ass guy made a stupid comment as like to degrade him. I said, oh, only McDonald's, you have to pay this. It doesn't matter if you have to pay McDonald's. what you have to pay McDonald's, because you have to pay a lot to McDonald's to own a McDonald's, to have a franchise. But it's your business. You have your own business, even if it's a franchise. It's your business. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you succeed. You start small, so never stay stuck in a rut like I am. Always go forward and don't look back. Really don't look back. If you need encouragement, that there are a lot of people out there. Look at people's stories. Look at them, how they became from little to big. Choose someone who you could say, you know what, I could do that. You know how I stopped drinking alcohol after 25 years of alcoholism? My father, he had stopped drinking alcohol, may he rest in peace, 25 years ago. And I said to myself, if my father can do it, I could do it. Because my father's not better than me. My father is not better than me. And that's what I said. If he can do it, I can do it. So you can take that into effect too. You can say, if that person can do it, you can do it. It's true. You can. Don't let, when you were a kid, your mom said you could become anything that you want to be. You can even become the president of the United States of America. But that's putting a lot of pressure on you. But it's just those words, those affectionate words, those words that you say, you know what? My mom is right. I can't do anything wrong. And you know what's the important thing to succeed besides you? And I want to tell you something. It's just very honest truth. Hi, Rayush. Rayush says, to be successful, you must be willing to do the right things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. That is true. But I'm going to tell you one of the keys, and you can ask anyone. And this is the great thing that I like about Shaquille O'Neal, because he hit the nail on the head. You have to associate yourself with successful people. And when I say successful people, I don't mean rich people. I mean people who think like you. People who think of success, people who are going to bring you up. Your circle of friends should be small. But those people who are your circle of friends should be those who say, you know what, King Gio, you're going to make it. You know what, King Gio, you got this. You're King Gio. People who are going to encourage you, not discourage you. People who are going to encourage you. You have to have positive people in your life. Those people who are toxic, you got to take them out. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're your mom. I don't care if your dad. I don't care who it is. You take them out. Yes, look at the story of Job. But Job was different because Job was a person who had faith. And Job, the devil took everything from Job. And that was because the devil said, the only reason he's loyal to you because you're giving him everything. And God said, and God told him, you can take everything you want from him, but just don't kill him. And he took everything except for his wife. And his wife was like, where's your God now? Where's your God now? And he said, woman, shut up, and whatever the case may be. And with his faith, God gave him everything, right? So that's good. You have to have faith in yourself. But you have to surround yourself with good people who are going to give you good advice. Mike Tyson, look at Mike Tyson in the past. The reason Mike Tyson lost a lot of his money because he had a lot of bad people around him. He had the bad karma. Those people who remember MC Hammer. MC Hammer can't touch this. MC Hammer was the same way. MC had millions of dollars and he hung out with the wrong people. Where's MC Hammer now? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Right? So that's what you got to do. And you see Mike Tyson now. Mike Tyson, he got millions. He got a successful podcast. And he surrounded himself with positive people. And you have to do that. You have to stay. You have to have people who are positive. You have to have people who are going to be with you through thick and thin, no matter what. You have to. You have to. Because misery loves company. And there's going to be a lot of people out there who wants to bring you down. And you just don't do that. You don't let no one bring you down. It's like a relationship. You have a relationship with a girl or guy, and that girl or guy is not satisfying you emotionally. It's always that person is always verbally abusing you. Is always degrading you. physically abusing you, you know what you do? You leave. You leave because life is too short. Life is too short for you to be saying, well, does she love me? Does he love me? Oh, this is just love. No, it's too short because before you know it, life is going to pass you by. You're going to be 60 old. And then that person that jaded you, right, is going to be all happy living his or her life the way him or her wanted to do. And you're still stuck behind because you're still stuck on what that person did to you. But you have to, you have, Supreme Hobo, you have to bring out the best in people. You have to, because that's the human thing to do, man. To really to bring out the best in people. I don't care. I tell my kids, I don't care if you're mopping, if you're a custodian and you're mopping and sweeping, to be the best mopper and sweeper that you can be. Because somewhere out there, someone's going to watch you. Is going to say, you know what, King Gio is a hard worker. So instead of giving this college grad, instead of giving this person this job with this promotion, or giving him this person this job that pays $80, $90, I'm going to give it to Gio because Gio has busted his ass. That's what you do. Yeah, forgiveness too. But we're talking about when you're talking about forgiveness, you're talking about forgiving the person for doing the things they did to you. Is that what you're talking about? Because it's very, 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 very. No, you have to look. You have to have what you call a heart of gold. You have to have that heart that you're able to forgive and forget, but to forget is kind of hard. And you have to be willing to, you have to be willing to say, you know what, this person did me wrong, so that's it. That's the past. But like I was saying, you have to surround yourself with good people. Like I said, MC Hammer had over $200 million and he lost it all because he was around the bad people. And Shaquille O'Neal, look at him, mad rich, $500 million he's worth. He owns businesses, he owns companies because why? He owns stocks because he surrounded himself with pure money. Mayweather is hard. Mayweather is another example. To me, he's not the greatest boxer there is in the world, so like they say. But he has put his money where his mouth is, and he has put it in places that he knows is going to make him money. And that's what you got to do. So if you got money and you want to invest in property, property leaves you money. I mean, it leaves money at the long run. You buy a house, you rent it out, let that property pay you passive income. That's the whole of this, all passive income. And that's what you got to do. You got to find success where you think you're good at. You gotta put up success, and you have to struggle. It's me struggling with YouTube. You gotta grind it out. I mean, I only have 1,800 subscribers or 1,700 subscribers, but I have to hustle. I have to hustle every day. I have to come out with a video every day. I have to come out with a new theme because that's how people say, you know what, King Gio's hustling. So I gotta find my niche. But you gotta hustle in life. You have to hustle. Nothing that's given to you for free is worth it. To be honest with you. Thank you, Rayuz, for the sticker. Guys, don't forget you can buy stickers too, and you can join my club. I got 3 different tiers. Thank you, Rayuz. And you have to. Those are the things that you have to do, man. You got to grind. If you got to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be at work at 6, you just have to. You have to do all that stuff, and that's what that's what's going to make you. To be honest with you, that's what's going to make you. Ooh, okay. Whoa. Can you see screen on one? Ooh. No. Let's put this on. Hello. Okay. So yeah, podcast. I'm going that route. I'm doing. I'm going to do a podcast pretty soon. It's just a matter of time. I want to be able to get more people in my YouTube, so I can take the people from YouTube and put them on my podcast, so they know that I have a podcast. I'm doing a lot of things with my YouTube. I'm going out there. I'm getting in contact. I'm sending out emails to actors, actresses, hip hop artists. I'm doing all that. I'm sending that to their representatives, to their agents, to their publicists, and letting them know that that if they want to be in the King Geo show, I pitched them my idea. I pitched them what my show is all about, and so far, I've gotten one response. I'm waiting on several others, but these are things that you have to do every day. You just can't um stay stuck in one spot and say, you know what, I'm just gonna do it and that's it. No, you gotta continuously grind and grind and grind and grind, and that's the important thing, is that you have to hustle. So I wanted you guys to see something, because this is another thing that I wanted to do today. Over here in the United States, for Ayush, she's in Canada. The Delta variant is becoming very, very strong here in the United States. And my niece just got sent home because 19 students in her school, she's in the 6th grade, came out positive with COVID-19. And back months ago, you had Fox News say that COVID was nothing. That was a hoax. Don't get vaccinated. Don't do this and don't do that. And this is why I tell you, don't follow politics, don't follow politicians, and don't follow people like that. And here we got this is Hannity, and this is what he says on Fox. So you can see the hypocrisy that goes around. Right? Just listen to this.
Just like we've been saying, please take COVID seriously. I can't say it enough. Enough people have died. We don't need any more deaths. Research like crazy. Talk to your doctor, your doctors, medical professionals you trust, based on your unique medical history, your current medical condition, and you and your doctor make a very important decision for your own safety. Take it seriously. You also have a right to medical privacy. Doctor-patient confidentiality is also important, and it absolutely makes sense for many Americans to get vaccinated. I believe in science. I believe in the science of vaccination.
He wasn't talking about this the other day. He wasn't talking about this months ago. Months ago, he was like, "Oh, Fauci this, Fauci that." The vaccine. Why get a vaccine when the vaccine? He was not talking this. What's going on with Fox? It's something different. I don't know what it is. There was a report the other day why Fox has decided to change his tune. I didn't watch it, but I'm going to watch it tonight. And it's interesting how the hypocrisy of these people. That's why you got to, now he's saying, but now he believes in the science. Before, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. Supreme, you said, what do I think about these natural disasters? Well, you just said it. The natural disasters. The one in Cali is happening because there's a heat wave and things get burned in the forest and all that kind of stuff. The other day you saw a little monsoon in Japan. Yesterday in China there was a dust storm. So these are things that happen because that's nature. That's the earth. But when things start going out of whack, like when it's supposed to be 90 degrees in California and it's only 50 degrees and it's 40 degrees, and in the East Coast where it's supposed to be cold, it's hot. That's called climate change. And that's called climate change because we are destroying the earth. When COVID came out last year, they did a study when we shut down that the air pollution and the earth was coming back. The air pollution was back to normal. I mean, the air was back, not the air pollution. The air was back to normal. It was better than before because there weren't that many cars out there. There's no trucks out there to pollute the air. There's nothing to pollute it. Well, we already were supreme. We already had a domestic terrorism, which was the insurrection back in January 6th in the White House. And there's going to be more of that because you have a lot of people in the world or in the United States who believe that this country belongs to them and them only. And then you have people who play into that and tell them, you know what, don't wear a mask because this is your right. Don't do this because this is your right. Have a gun because this is your right. And and then they don't have the knowledge when they say, this is my country, get out, you Chinese, you Mexican, and they don't know the history of this country. They don't know that this country doesn't belong to us. We know this country was built to be in the backs of black people. In the backs of black people, to be honest with you. This country was built on the backs of black people. This country had Mexicans before Europe came here. This country they had Mexicans. Mexico owned Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Los Angeles, California, Las Vegas. It owned all that. The Native American owned the United States. This was their land. And here comes the Europeans, and they just raped and murdered each and every one of them. And they have the audacity to say, white people have the audacity to say, this is our country. No, this country was stolen. This country was raped, okay, of its natural resources, of its natural people. That's what happened, okay? And then who built this country up? The black people, okay? And then after the black people, when all those immigration came, who built the railroads? Who built the Italians, the Irish, the blacks, the immigrants that came from other countries because they couldn't take it in their country, or they were brought over here, or they made it over here. Those are the people who built. Those are the people who built this country. Not no George Washington, not no Abraham Lincoln, not no Theodore Roosevelt. Not none of them. Not none of them. These people were the one who built this country, right? So that's why they don't want critical thinking. Critical race thinking, because in critical race thinking, they don't want to tell you, because what it is that in school they teach you what slave was about, right? They teach you that they brought black people from Africa to the United States and they made them slaves, and they did the continents and they did this and that, but they don't tell you how they were whipped. They don't tell you how they were raped. They don't tell you that George Washington, our first president, had owned slaves. They don't tell you that the majority of slave owners were women. The majority of slave owners were women. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you that Abraham Lincoln had no choice but to free the slaves, to do the Proclamation of Emancipation. He had no choice. If you see a letter that just came out that I read the other day, he said he will not let the white race, which is more supreme, to be taken over by the black race. His words. But they don't teach you this in school. They don't teach you the history of black people, and more than black people, other ethnic background that had an impact in this country. Everything that we are taught in school is white. This country celebrate Christopher Columbus Day. The asshole never made it to the United States of America. Never made it. He made it to the Caribbeans. And what did he do to the Caribbeans? He abolished that. He took everything and just destroyed everything. He brought in syphilis. He brought herpes. He raped the. That's what he did. And now you're celebrating. You're giving this man a celebration. You're giving George Washington a day of federal holiday because he was the first president of the United States. But he owned slaves. All these presidents own slaves. So why do you have to look up to them? And then when the white people say, "Oh, this is our country," no, it's not. It's all of our country, because we all doing something to partake. You're paying your taxes. You're doing this. You're doing that. Okay, so there is going to be more local terrorism, and it's kind of sad when you walk down the street and you can't walk down the street because someone's saying, "Oh, look at that! Look at that spick, or look at that N, or look at this, or look at that." No, but they try to save face, but you cannot. You can look. You can forgive, like I said, but you can't forget, because every day racism is thrown in our faces. Okay, racism is thrown in our faces. Just the other day, when was it? Minneapolis is doing in October, if I'm not mistaken. Let me get it here because I did a screenshot of it. All right, so they were talking about the Minneapolis. They're going to vote on a bill whether to remove the Minneapolis Police Department and put and make it a community-based department, and that's not the thing to do. You know, when Black Lives Matters and all these people said defund the police, it's not to defund the police, to dismantle the police. No, to defund the police means you to take the police, the money that you give these police officers, the money that you give to these states, to these corporate, to this police department, you don't, those extra money, you don't give it to them. Okay, what you do is that you revamp the whole entire recruiting system. You give them psychological tests every year. The officers who get civil complaint, follow up on that. Why did this civilian made a report on this person? Because you got officers out there who got 10, 20 civil complaints and they're still in the force. Why? And then when something happens, like George Floyd and beyond George Floyd, because other people, Breonna Taylor, and all those young black men that died in the hands of police officers, that could have been avoided. Because why? Because they don't know how to de-escalate a situation, or they're racist. And that guy, I forgot his name, who got shot in his car and with his girlfriend and the kid in the back, and his girlfriend's telling him he has a gun, he has a permit for the gun, he didn't even reach for the permit, and the Asian guy shot him. All right. Eric Garner in New York got choked because he was selling cigarettes in the street. He was a big guy, and the cop choked him. And when you see Eric Garner on the floor, no one calls the ambulance. The ambulance came. The ambulance was talking crap with the officers. No CPR. Come on, we're not. Some of these officers don't have empathy. And that's the bad thing about it. Back in 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when you became an officer because you wanted to become an officer, because your daddy was an officer, your grandfather, you wanted to keep the tradition. And racism will always exist, people. Racism will always exist, no matter what you do, until God comes, until Jesus comes and cleans the world. Racism will always exist. But there's a point, there's a limit to this racism, and this is why we get into this terrorism. I've never seen so much hate in this country up to a few years ago. This country is becoming hateful, and it's a shame, because you got good people in this world, you got good people in this country who will give you the shirt off their backs. Wouldn't even think twice whether you're black or white, wouldn't think twice whether you're a Democrat or Republican, wouldn't think twice whether you're a Protestant or a Catholic. Wouldn't think twice. And your common supreme hobo is, yes, it will, the COVID-19 will get worse if people keep doing what they're doing. It would mutate. And then this is the whole thing. Then it mutates, and then it mutates. It may get stronger. And this is what people don't understand. What's the point? Why can't you just mask up? If you mask up, then you don't give the virus a chance to enter. It dies in the atmosphere. It dies in the air. I guarantee you, if everybody maxed up for 60 days, it'll go away. Don't let no one come in the country. Don't let no one go out the country. It will go away, because the virus has nowhere to go. It needs a host. That is science. For anything to grow, it's like a plant. And plant needs photosynthesis in order for it to grow. Without photosynthesis, without the sun, without this, without that, it would not go. Yeah, Supreme, you said racism, I don't agree with. I've been through things people need to heal. Yeah, people need to heal, but people will always have some racist remark, because that's the way the world is. Look in the Bible. Didn't the Egyptian keep the Jews? Didn't they keep them enslaved? It's all through history. It's all through history. Will racism change? No, it will not. At least not here. Well, right, you have to wait. You can't wait for Jesus to clean the world, but you have to. What you could do is you could put a little part of yourself, and you could put a voice out there. But sometimes that voice it doesn't resonate with the things that you want to do, because the votes have been stolen. We want to treat it fair. It thinks, we have to move forward. The greatest country in the world is supposed to be the United States, and if you look at it, we're not even number one in anything besides having the most people in jail. Okay, how do you expect people to come out of the ghetto when when you're not teaching the person how to get out of the ghetto? How can you do that? You can't. You can go to a white neighborhood with rich people and teach them how to open up a 401k, right? But you cannot go into a ghetto and say, you know what? You know that you don't have to go to school, you don't have to graduate college, but you can get yourself a trade. You can become an electrician, you can become a plumber, you could get a trade, something that no one can take away from you. That if you wanted, that you could open up your own business. That if you wanted, if you needed a couple of dollars in your pocket, you could do mechanical work outside. You could change someone's tire, you could do someone's brake, you could do someone's transmission, you could do someone's motor. If a person needs the lights fixture, you could do someone's electricity, someone's pipe burst, and boom, there you go. You charge whatever you want to charge because that's your trade. No one can take that away from you. What they oppress, but chains will be broken. Not in our lifetime, buddy. That's up to the young generation to do it. Not in our lifetime, because people, it's getting worse and worse every day. The Karens of the world, like we call them now. They're like, "What are you doing in my neighborhood? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? You don't belong here. You don't do this. You don't do that. You don't." It's stupidity. It really is. Where do we go from success to what we're talking about now? Right? But yes, well, so you have to, you have to, like you said before, you have to uplift the person. You have to let that person know that person is worth something. So you do. You have to, you can't live in this world that says me, because this is what we're doing now. It's just me. And it's not, let me help others. Let me help help thy neighbor. Let me help this person. It's just me. I want me. I gotta do this for me. The country to heal. But people are claiming what's theirs. But put it this way. That should have happened years ago, because reparation should have had. If you gave the Indians reparation, and Indians can have land, federal land, then you should have given the blacks the reparation. You only have 44 million black people here in the United States of America. Give them something, because their ancestors, their great-grandfather, or whatever the case may be, those that can prove that, then you give them something, because they bust their ass. And one of the things that most people don't know is that when you were a slave and you were freed by your owner, and I hate using that word, they had to give you a certain amount of acres. And that never happened. Not to everybody, at least. You don't have to punish you, the government. Put it this way. I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you food for thought. Here you have the government that is telling you that $15 an hour is too high of wages. But it's also telling you that the minimum wage, which is $7.25, that you can live off $7.25 an hour. All right. Then you have these big corporations who pay no taxes, but you got to pay taxes. The good Lord says, forgive and love. That's the best lesson. Yes, but this has nothing to do with God. Slavery had nothing to do with God, because God didn't tell these people to put these people as slaves. God didn't tell these people, go out there and get yourself and round up yourself a bunch of black people, a bunch of Hispanics, and make them slaves. I want you to go. No, that had nothing to do with that. Yes, you forgive. You have to forgive. You have to forgive. But it's kind of hard to forget when it's being thrown in your face every single day. And the media does not help, because the media is another one that, It says, oh, this black person was arrested. Oh, there you go. You have to say black person. Oh, this is the first black person who's ever won this award. Why you gotta say black? Why can't you say, this person achieved this on his own merits? Stuff like that. But now we are free. You think we are free? Come on, man. There are you have to go to other countries to appreciate what you have. There are other countries out there in the world who are far better off GDP wise and who are far better off living wise than we are. The schools are better, the health system is better, and they're happier people. You guys just look at those countries who are number 1 through number 10. Look at those countries who have a low crime rate. Look at those countries who don't arrest you because you have a small amount of marijuana. You know that there are people in this country who are doing life in prison because they have a small amount of marijuana. Do you know that? But yet, presidents every year they give these people their passes for free. Say, you know what? I'm going to take away your sentence. Yeah, but be merciful. But you got to be merciful to what point? You can only be merciful. You can only be, look, every disciple from God, every disciple that worshiped Jesus Christ was beheaded. You go to countries like these Arab countries, the women are punished. If they get raped, the women are punished because they got raped. They show their faces, they get beat. All right? These are things that are happening right now. You go to Africa, a lot of women in Africa in all these places are getting raped by these bandits, not just Africa, Haiti, a lot of these third world countries. But that's not called a sacrifice. No, what you're saying about, yeah, that's being a martyr, dying for what you believe in. But what I'm trying to say is that you're saying to be merciful, but to be merciful to what point? You can only be merciful. You can only be merciful to an extent. You go out there and a person kills your child. Yes, you're merciful because you leave that in the hands of God. You say, you know what, I forgive you. And a lot of people don't think that way. A lot of people say, why does God let bad things happen to good people? But that's just the way life is. I don't question God. I don't do that. That's not my job. But things do happen, and things have to happen in order to the world to move around. And that's the way it is. No one deserves to be raped. No woman deserves to be raped. No child deserves to be molested. No child deserves to be killed. But that's just life. And if Cain killed Abel, his own flesh and blood, and like I said, that will continue on existing until Jesus comes and takes care of the world. But what we can do as God-fearing human beings is that we can feed the word of God to other people. We can show other people that people are good, and we can be merciful to other people by saying, you know what, I forgive you, and let them know. Because by saying I forgive you to a person, that person can say, wow, I did this and this person forgave me. So that's a cool person, man. I don't know how that person did that, and then that makes that person think. But that's just one person. We have over 7 billion people in this world. You have a billion. You have a billion who are Catholics. You have a billion Christians that could be Jehovah's Witnesses, a Protestant, or whatever the case may be. You have a billion Arabs, Islamics. You have all these. So you have out of 7 million people. Out of 7 million people, right there you have 3 billion who are religious, and religion don't help. And Racism is so bad, I don't even want to call my bedroom the master bedroom anymore. That's a good one. That's a good one. I don't hate nobody. Trust me, I don't hate nobody. But you have to wonder, when are people going to wake up and live in a society? You're only as strong as your weakest link. What happened on June 6th in the Capitol building, that was number one. That's an embarrassment. That made it look bad in the eyes of others. That made it look weak in the eyes of others. And for one side, which is the Republican side, to say that was not an insurrection, that was not a local, that was not a domestic terrorist attack, they are wrong. And if you believe that lie, that's where that's the problem. And do I believe in change? Yes, I believe in change, but change takes time. We don't have Jesus been dead for over 2,000 years. We're in 2021, so that means 2,000 and some odd years ago, Jesus died. That's not too long ago. That's not too long ago, guys. All right, what has changed? Has society changed? Has society changed since the 60s? Has society changed since the 70s? Has society changed in the 90s? No. Every year, there haven't been any school shooting because there's been no school. But every year, it's a school shooting. This mass school shooting. This year alone, there's a lot of shooting in the world. In the United States of America. In the United States. Not in the world, but in the United States. Why is that? Because people tend to put fear on other people. And when you put fear, and when you talk to people who are not educated enough, who do not want to do a research, and say, I'm going to research, I'm going to see what this is true, that's where it all falls down. In order for you to believe in God, you have to have the faith. In order for you to believe in God, you have to read the Bible. If you don't read, you don't know. Reading is fundamental, guys. Remember that. So yes, we need to change. But like I said, there are over 7 billion people. That means you have 7 billion different ideas. And I just told you, 1 billion people are Catholics, so they have their own ideas. 1 billion people are Christians. That means they can be Jehovah's Witness, they can be Protestant, they can be Church of Latter-day Saints, they can be Baptist. So you have 1 billion of those. Then you have 1 billion Islamics. So that means you have 7 billion people. Now, out of those 7 billion people, you have 3 billion who are religious, meaning that they believe in their own thing. They believe in one man. Catholics believe in the Pope. Protestants, they believe in their pastors, and Islam believe in the Quran, in Muhammad. So you have 3 billion out of 4 people. So now you have 4 billion people who have 4 billion different ideas of how the world should be. It's great to have different ideas. It's great to have different thoughts. But what do you do? We live in a country. Texas is the state that has the most death penalty. They decided to do that. They decided to do the death penalty years ago, 20 years, 30 years ago. And they say because an eye for like you said in the Bible, the eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. Has that really worked in Texas, or has that really worked in any state that has the death penalty? Have murders gone down in these states? No. Look at Texas. Texas is ramping with murders right now. Having the death penalty, had that stopped a psycho from killing somebody? No, because it won't do that. They prosecuted Jesus, but that was the purpose of Jesus. Jesus knew what he was coming to. God knew what he was coming to. That's totally something different, because Jesus came here and Jesus knew that he was going to die. Jesus knew what was going to happen to him. Remember, Jesus is God, and God knows what was going to happen to him. But that is different. You don't know what's going to happen to you, but you still have that faith in humanity, that people are good, but you do have bad people. You see, but I believe eye for an eye is an Old Testament. But you see, now if you believe in the Old Testament, that's where you're wrong, because Jesus abolished the Old Testament. Okay, you don't see people sacrificing lambs and taking it to church. You don't see that, right? You don't see people getting stoned to death. That's when the prostitute came out and she said, and they said, the adulterer came out and they said, we have to stone her because she committed sin. She was sleeping with a married man. What did Jesus say? He who was free of sin cast the first stone. Okay, so the Old Testament, when Jesus said it's not, it tells you it's not an eye for an eye. You don't, just because something did something to you, you go out and you do something to them. No, that's not the way. God says, "Let vengeance be mine." And fly. Let vengeance be mine. That's what God said. You let everything in God's hand. That's what you have to do. It's not for an eye, because the Old Testament, the only thing that you can take from the Old Testament is the story in the Ten Commandments. In the Ten Commandments. That's it. But the rest is just stories. The rest is just a good story for you. The genealogy of Abraham, of Moses, of Adam and Eve, and how everything started. But then you got to start when Jesus came over and Jesus was born. Everything that happened in the past, that it's no longer valid, because the past is the past. Those were done for Leviticus, and that's all that kind of stuff. You can't just wait. You said yes. This Old Testament was my point. Wait. But everyone is worse than Jesus. But everyone is worse than Jesus. Should they get worse punishment? But like I said, Jesus had to be sacrificed in order for our sins to be forgiven, in order for us to have everlasting life. You understand? Let me say something. God is a God of many faces, so I say. He's a spirit, right? And God knows that he loves you. God knows that he needs you, that you need him. God knows that you're suffering. God knows all these things about you. God knows all these things. But what happened is that God did not know how it feels. So God chose. He took one of his spirit and he manifested himself into a man. And as a man, he found out what was betrayal. As a man, he found out what is love. Because I can tell you I love you, but unless you feel that, God didn't have that feeling, because he's an entity, he's spirit. So he had to become a human being to know what it meant to suffer, to know what it meant to be loved, to be held by that warm person, whether it's a mother or a father, to be held and to be told, I love you, son. I love you, daughter. He had to feel that. He had to feel the betrayal. He felt the hatred of people, how people hated him, and it hurt him. And the only way he could have done that is if he became himself a man. God chose is called freedom. Yes, it's called freedom, but you're taking it to another level. Yes, Jesus sacrificed himself for everybody. Yes, it's true. But Jesus knew that he was going to die. Jesus knew. That's why when people say, about Judas, that Judas was a betrayer. Judas was not a betrayer. Judas did what he had to do. Each and every of those disciples were a betrayer. They betrayed Jesus in one way or another. They betrayed Jesus. All right. But they were chosen to. All right. Because if Judas didn't turn over Jesus, then Jesus, then the purpose of Jesus being here would have been moot. Okay, would have been moot. Okay, when they were walking down, when Jesus was carrying that cross, the Romans said, those guys, they were with Jesus. And what did they say? No, we weren't with Jesus. We don't know him. That's betrayal. They denied him. All right. Then in the table it says before the rooster crows 3 times, you would have neglected, you would have denied me. Okay. So Judas was not a traitor. Judas did what he had to do. Jesus chose him because that was his job. That is Judas' job, to betray him. It was It was the other guy's jobs, his disciples' jobs, to betray him. Not because they wanted to betray him, because they didn't want to be killed. Because if had they said, had John and Paul, had John and Matthew, had they said, yeah, we were with him, they would have killed them too. So they had to deny him in order for them to go around and preach the word of God, to preach the gospel of Jesus. So they had to deny him, not because but they had to deny him. And God chose those people. God knew each and every one of their roles. Yeah, I know that Judas got money as well, but we're not talking about the money. We're not talking about all those things had to happen. Okay, this is what I'm trying to get at. All those things had to happen in order for Jesus to be sacrificed. If Judas would have not turned over, Jesus, then Jesus would have died, and then his life here on earth would have been moot. Okay, that was God designed it. It was designed for that purpose. No one was going to betray Jesus, but those are the things that had to be done. It was designed by God. God said, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to make myself a man. And I'm going to choose this person. And these people are going to, this one's going to betray me. And this was going to do something. I know Jesus killed himself. I know Judas killed himself. So what? You're telling me something I already know. But what I'm trying to tell you is that these people did a job that they were chosen to. Jesus knew everything. Jesus knew, because Jesus is God. Do you think that God is not going to say, you're going to betray me? Don't come with me. Judas had to be with him. John, Matthew, or Luke, they all had to say, no, I'm not with Jesus. Because they had that, like I keep saying, had they not done that, then we would have never gotten the Gospels of Luke, John, Matthew, or Mark. That's it. Jesus was on the cross. Jesus was on the cross by himself. Who was next to him? Those are two different things. Okay. But like I said, you talking about freedom and all, I understand all that. But the purpose, they all had a purpose. They all had a purpose with them. You know, they all had a purpose. Judas had a purpose. Judas had to betray God. He had to. There was no other way. So like the Old Testament is old. I mean, the Old Testament is moot when Jesus came over. But who's next to him? The thieves and a thief. Where are we getting this at? You had a thief and a killer, and the thief said, "Why do you have this man here? Because he has done nothing to you. We are the ones that are guilty of our sins." And then Jesus, what did Jesus tell him? My brother, from this day forward, you will be with me in the kingdom of heaven. So right there, for the faith that man had, this is what is important. It is called faith. If you don't have no faith, you have nothing. That man stole every day of his life. Probably didn't believe in God. But when he was standing on that cross and he defended Jesus, Jesus told them, because of your faith, from this moment on, you will be with me in the kingdom of heaven. He forgave him right there and then. And this is why this is very important, because a lot of people are not going to have that chance to ask for forgiveness when they're dead, or to ask for forgiveness while they're dying. Some people are on their deathbed and they don't take that little moment in time to accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior, to have faith and say, you know, God, I'm sorry. Please forgive me for my sins. I want to believe. I believe in you now. Because it just takes that little thing. You could have been wrong all your life. In that little moment, if you truly, truly, truly felt bad for what you truly did and you accepted Jesus, you're saved. That little moment. So when you're alive and you wake up every morning, give thanks to God the glory. When you go to sleep, give God the thanks and glory. Because you don't know if you're going to make it the following day. You don't know that. So as you're walking down the street, praise God in your mind. tell him that you love him. When you're in your house, tell God that you love him. Whenever you are, you tell God what you love him. Like I said, some people don't have that luxury of being in deathbed. When they say you have 3 months to live, you don't have that luxury, and you know that you're down in your deathbed, and you say to yourself, God, forgive me. That's a blessing, because you have the chance, you have the opportunity to ask for forgiveness. And that's what it's all about. When he forgave that man, that thief on the right hand, who was on his right side, he forgave him, and he told him, from this moment forward, you will be with me in the kingdom of heaven. And this man stole all his life. He was a thief. So if you get that opportunity and you're in that deathbed, ask for forgiveness. Accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, because that's all it takes is faith. I've never met a person. I've met, you have a lot of atheists in this world. Oh, I don't believe in Jesus. But when they're about to die or something bad is happening to them, what's the first thing they say? Oh, God, please help me. And that's a fact. No man's going to say, oh, you know what? They could be tough on the outside. Oh, I would die anyway and blah, blah. But when they're in that deathbed, or they're going to be putting that needle, the injection in their arm, guarantee you they're thinking about God. Remember when it says, every knee shall bow and every mouth shall confess that I am God, your Lord. Remember that. Don't forget that. We went from success to God. Well, that's good. That is good. I like talking about God. We gotta give God his glory. And that's all it takes. It's just faith. Faith like a mustard seed. The mustard seed is the smallest seed there is in the world. And if you have that little bit of faith, you could be saved. That's all it takes, brother. If you have faith, you bet $5 that horse is going to come in first place because you want to win that money, or you have faith that you're going to win the lotto, or you have faith that things are going to go good in court, or you have faith that you're going to lose weight, then have faith in the supreme God that gave his life, that gave his only begotten son for you to have everlasting life. Because this life that we have here, it's nothing. It's the afterlife. It's the one after this that's going to mean something. This is just to me, it's just a pass through. Enjoy life. Enjoy to its fullest. Don't harm nobody. Don't do bad things to others. Help others when you can. Be that good neighbor. Don't be hateful towards other ones. Don't be judgmental to other ones. And just enjoy life the way you want it to, but always put God first. Before you enjoy life, put God first. Above all things, put God first. It doesn't say you can't travel the world and enjoy the world. It can't say, oh, you can't be a millionaire and I want to be a millionaire. I want to be this. And you can't say I want to do that and not enjoy life. You could be a millionaire and enjoy life to its fullest, but you have to put God first. How do I donate? Donate to what? To me? You could do what Rayuz did. If you look at your chat in the bottom, it has a $sign on it, and you can donate whatever amount. You got the sticker there. It'll show you the sticker, and you could add whatever. There we go. Sorry about that. The Heineken bottle. Oh, Heineken. I haven't Heineken, that German beer. My father. I don't know if you know. Have you ever heard of the beer Beck's? My stepdad, I call him my dad. He used to love to drink Beck's. That was his beer. But when I tasted Beck's, it's so not dry, but it's so groggy. And what's Beck's, Heineken? I don't like. I didn't like Heineken. I didn't like Beck's. I didn't like Coronas. So that's how you can donate, my brother. If you want to donate to Cash App, you could do that too. If you want me to give you my Cash App. But if you want to do like here, like Rayuz did in the top corner, it says 99 cents. You will see a $sign on your YouTube, and it'll say you can donate through that. And like I said, guys, in all things, give God the glory, right? You know, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you about this. A few months ago, I think. When was it? I'm not sure. No, it wasn't for the 4th of July, but it was a few months ago. I was at my old job, the job that I had before, and I was, I was talking. It was like maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. I think it was Mother's Day or something like that, or Father's Day, something like that. It was one of those holidays, and I was working from 11 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning. So it must have been January. So as I'm talking, all of a sudden I start talking about God, and I had like, not lying to you, I had like around three viewers at 2 o'clock in the morning. I think it was like around 2 o'clock in the morning. And the minute that I started talking about God, my viewership went from 3 to like 190 in a matter of 90 seconds. I'm not lying to you. And I was like, oh wow. And that was talking about God. So that just tells you the powerfulness of God. I just tell you how powerful God is. They stood there for a few minutes, they saw it, and then they left. But it was that moment you saw it, that you see yourself, you say, wow, God is good. You know? So yeah, so besides that Supreme, I have the green screen, which is back there. You can see it. I had it up all the way to the ceiling earlier on today, so I put it down. So tomorrow, before I do my live, I'm gonna take maybe an hour or so I can set it up, so I can do the back screen, so everything looks good. Because I have to work with it. I have to get the right lighting. that's going to take time, because this room is big. This is a big bedroom, and it's kind of nice because I have a wood stove here. I'm gonna show it to you right now. Hold on. See, I have that wood stove there, and come winter time, put wood in there, whatever you want, and it burns it, and it maintains this room real hot. So I have this whole entire room, so I gotta get good lighting, and I want to be in a place that I can, because I want to have my YouTube channel to grow. Like I said, I'm doing stuff with, I'm sending actors and actresses and hip hop artists. Thank you, Dollar. Thank you, Supreme, for that. I appreciate it. All right. Using Supreme donated. I appreciate it to be able to do that. And I want to get normal people too to get on my show and talk about their experiences of life, whether they're good or bad. And if they were bad, how can they make it go good? If you watch one of my Supreme, being that I see that you like about talking about God, look at one of my interviews that I did with Angie Rose. This was like a month and a half ago. I did an interview with her. She's a hip hop artist. She's a Christian hip hop artist. And she's great. And you watch the interview that I have with her, and she's very inspirational. She's a Puerto Rican girl, Christian music, and she sounds good. Look her up on Instagram, and Angie Rose. They're being my profiles because I'm an alcoholic, but I'm trying to recover. So how is that going? Now let's talk about that. I sleep on the streets. What state are you in? But Supreme, what state are you in right now? I appreciate that you love the channel, because depending on the street and in the state that you're in, I can help you out. Depending. But let me tell you something. Alcohol, Supreme. I was an alcoholic for 25 years, and I've been sober for 8 years. You're in Virginia, so you're not far from me. I'm in North Carolina. Where in Virginia are you? I'm in the borderline. I'm close to Danville, Martinsville, Roanoke. I think that's the way it is. And I've been an alcoholic, and I was an alcoholic, and I've been 8 years sober. And one of the things that I did when I became sober is I put God first. And every day that I woke up, I said, today I'm not going to drink. I gave God thanks. I give the thanks to God first. And then I said, This is enough. I don't need much. Just a positive message. Well, my brother, what I can tell you is a positive message is if you're struggling with alcohol, you could do it. You could stop. It's all here. Don't let the devil tell you different. If you ever need anything that I can help you with, always let me know. I will always be there. There's no need for you to be in the streets. You got shelters that you can go to. Don't be afraid of the shelters. You got churches that you can go to. Take advantage of those. And start from there, my brother. You go to rehab and let them help you. Put God first, and you'll see how you're gonna let the alcoholism go away. And before you know it, you'll be 10 years, 20 years sober. You'll be like, woo! There's nothing better than living a sober life. Let me tell you that. I mean, I did. Don't get me wrong. I did what I had to do when I was drunk, when I was an alcoholic. I would have never had my kids if I didn't. So that part, I have no regrets. But as far as quitting drinking, that's one of the best decisions that I've made in my life. And the one thing you have to do, if you want to start fresh, if you don't have a Bible, you have the internet. Look at Romans 10:9. That if you believe in your heart and you confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is Lord, you are saved. And that's where you start. Start from there. Start from today. And you don't have to stop alcohol all at one time. You could do it slowly. You could do it one day at a time. You slow your process down, because to stop, if you drink every day, and to stop drinking right there quick, it's not a safe thing to do. But you got me. If you ever need anything, don't look at my messages, and it gets to me quick, so I'm able to respond to you real quick. And just don't give up, brother. Don't give up. Never give up. Oh, you were watching me about a year ago? Wow. I like the name though, Supreme Hobo Specialist. So you consider yourself a hobo? You're a specialist at that? Well, that's cool. I mean, just because you're in the street, that doesn't mean you're a hobo. But I mean, just put your faith in God. Put your faith in God, and let Him manage your life. But in order for this to work with God, you have to put in the works too. Okay? If you want to be sober, you have to want it. If you want to be sober, you want it. And my brother, anyone that knows me from Puerto Rico to New York, no, there was no bigger alcoholic than me. Yes, it is a funny name though. Supreme Hobo Specialist. That is. I do give you that. It's very unique. And just because now that I know that you say you're on the streets, now I know what you call yourself, hobo. But don't give yourself credit, brother. But put yourself in a good shoe with God. Ask Him from the beginning for forgiveness. Because it's not your fault. It's not none of our fault. We get caught up at the moment, and it's hard to let go of that. I've gotten seizures because of that. That's good, man. My brother, let me tell you something. When you go into a sober living house, that's the best thing to do. And always surround yourself with positive people. Positive people who are going to uplift you, people who are going to tell you that you are going to be okay. And I want to tell you something from the bottom of my heart. When you decide that you're going to stop, please never use the word. Like when you go to an AA meeting and they say, "Hi, my name is King Gio. I'm an alcoholic." No, I don't want you doing that. What I want you to do is the same thing that God said, that once you turn your life over to God, all your sins are forgiven. All your sins are forgiven. God said in the book of, I think it's Leviticus, in the book of Romans, or the book of, I forgot. It says that your sins are thrown into the lake of forgiveness. In the lake of forgiveness, my brother. So I don't want you to say when you stop, I don't want you to say, you know what, I am an alcoholic. No, I want you to throw that idea away, because a lot of people do that. I'm an alcoholic. My name is Gio. I'm an alcoholic. Blah blah blah. I mean, no, don't do that. You are free from alcohol. You are a new man, a new creature in life, That was the old you. You don't want anything to remind you of the old you. You will get reminded of the old you when you see people in the streets drinking. And when you stop drinking, you're going to get your senses back. You're going to get that smell back. And you're going to say, wow, that alcohol smells bad. You have someone next to you like, damn, this person smells. That's the way you're going to see things differently. But never use that word when you stop. I'm an alcoholic. Keep that in mind. Take that away from you. Put God first, and you're going to see how things are going to change. Things are going to change for you, and for the better, my brother, for the better. Like I said, I know it's not hard. It's a difficult thing to do. I was an alcoholic for 25 years. I started when I was 17 years old. And I drank every single day, my brother, every day. And I had jobs, and I never got fired from my job because of my alcohol. Never. But it was, I wasn't a belligerent drunk and all of this. I didn't stagger. I didn't slur my words. The only way you would know that I was drinking because it smelled. On relationship, if you were with a woman, my best advice in a relationship is always have an open communication. Always have that. Be honest with the woman, the person you're with the woman, the man, whatever the case may be. Be honest with that person. That person to accept you and you is. And always have a chemistry of laughter. I think that laughter is one of the key things to have in a relationship. If you can make your girl laugh and your girl can make you laugh, or you can make your boyfriend laugh, or your boyfriend, whichever sexual orientation you're in, if you can make each other laugh, that's what is good. If you can be there for that person to hold their tears, that's what's good. Love is great, but in a relationship, love isn't everything. You need more than love. You need that trust. You need that you need to build that trust. You need to build that that transparency. You all those things you need to do. It's not just one thing. And she has to accept you, and you have to accept her. I was in a relationship where my ex-girlfriend for a year and a half. You want a wife, but I don't want my toxicity to affect. That's why I distance myself. Well, put it this way. I had I've had girlfriends who knew that I was an alcoholic. My wife met me as an alcoholic, and she accepted me for who I am. And she was with me through thick and thin through my alcoholism because I was upfront with her. And you're going to meet a girl, a woman you're going to be upfront with. And as long as you are upfront with that person is going to like you. And dating, you could do online dating. You could do all this. I mean, in the person, whether if she likes you, she's going to accept you. If she really likes you, she's going to accept you. And she's going to be there for you. She's going to be there with you. And when you see that, you be like, okay, this is the one. Because the woman the woman who's your ride or die, that's who you stay with. You stay with your ride or die, no matter what. Your ride or die can be short, wanted to be, and then you have another girl that's fine as hell, but you only want that girl because of her body. Your shorty right here, that's your ride or die that's been with you through thick and thin. That's who you stay with. And you tell that girl that has a nice body that you're just gonna be. For me, you're gonna be just property. I don't want that. So the way I met my wife was through the internet, and she accepted me. I told her what I had. I told her that I was an alcoholic, and to her it was no problem. So if a woman, if you're willing to tell that person what you are, I'm an alcoholic, or they will accept you. And once you do that, you're gonna be okay. There's a person for everyone in this world, but that person is gonna have to accept you for who you are. You are gonna have to accept you for who you are, and then you're gonna have to accept at least the one thing that you did say, that you're an alcoholic, and that's very important. that you admit and that you acknowledge that you do have a problem. You acknowledge that you are an alcoholic. Once you that's the first step, my brother. That's the first step to recovery. That you acknowledge that you're an alcoholic. All right, and you admit to yourself, now the next step is to do something about that. So if you want that wife and you don't want that wife to be, and you don't want her to be in that toxicity world with you, then you know, like I said, it's not going to be hard. I mean, it's going to be hard, but it's not. But it can be done if you want it. If that's what you want, that's where it comes from. The success. That's good. That should be your success. Wanting to be sober. That should be your success. Sobriety. Put that in your mind. Don't say it. Do it. Don't say I'm going to go into a living sober house. Do it. Put yourself in a living sober house. Start from whatever it is that you want to start, but don't make it too late. But start when you want to start, and just don't look back. Don't look back. Don't look back. Don't look back. And you're gonna have people say, "Hey, you want to drink? No. Oh, you want to go this? No." You abstain yourself from that. Keep away from people, places, and things. That's very important. And just go for you. And like I said, if my father, my biological father, was able to do it, and he was an alcoholic, and I said to myself, I could do it. If I could do it, if King Gio could do it, Supreme Hobo Specialist can definitely do it. There is no stopping you. The only one that can stop you is you. And that's the fact. You are the only person that can stop you. So believe in yourself. This is just a phase that you're going through. All right, that's the way I saw it. And just move forward, man. You gotta do you. Do not stop drinking because you want a wife. Do not stop drinking because you want to do this. Stop drinking because you want to stop drinking for you. And there you go. You go to the gym. Gyms nowadays, girls like people are buffed up. They like, you know, shit like that. You can tell the girl, yeah, I'm an alcoholic, but I go to the gym. I keep myself fit. You know, it's not easy lifting up that beer bottle or that wine bottle, whatever it is that you drink, a Heineken. You know, and once you do that, man, you know, you gotta do it. You gotta take it day by day. You know, tomorrow is not promised, but if you want to start by going by sober house and you start there, and then you day by day take it slowly, one day at a time, my brother, one day at a time. And no matter what happens, once you stop drinking, no matter what happens, no matter what comes in your way, because the devil's smart. He's gonna tempt you. No matter what happens, no matter how things may look, how bad things may look to you, don't hit the bottle. Do not hit the bottle. All right, brother. Yes, I'm gonna do the podcast. I appreciate it. You can hit me up whenever you want to. All right. So thank you, my love to you. Rayuz, thank you for checking in. I appreciate my love to you. Gataides, thank you, like always. Appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe to the King Gio Show. All right, peace. I gotta go.